What happens when a simple talk about motherhood turns into one of the most uncomfortable moments in daytime TV? Jessica Capshaw, best known for her role as Arizona Robbins on Grey's Anatomy, appeared on the Kelly Clarkson Show for what was meant to be a light conversation about life after the hit drama. But what began as friendly small talk soon spiraled into a tense exchange that stunned the crowd and ended with Jessica walking off the stage. Before we get into what sparked this dramatic moment, don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts below about celebrity interviews that go off the rails. Kelly Clarkson began the segment in her usual warm style, greeting Jessica with excitement as the audience clapped. Jessica smiled and waved as she took her seat. Kelly started with a light question about Jessica's life as a mother of 4 while balancing a career in Hollywood. "So you've got 4 kids, which is amazing," Kelly said with a laugh. "How do you handle it all?" "I struggle with 2 sometimes," Jessica chuckled. "Honestly, I think balance is kind of a myth. You just do your best day to day and hope you're not messing them up too much." Kelly nodded. "Right, but you must have help, right? I mean, with your lifestyle, I'm sure you have a great support system." There was a short pause. Jessica's smile faltered slightly. "Well, yes. My husband and I work together as a team. That's what matters most." Kelly leaned forward. "Of course, but I mean, you've got nannies and help, right?" "Which is totally fine. I just think being open about it helps because a lot of moms watching might feel like you're doing it all alone, and that's not realistic." Jessica shifted. "I think every mom does her best with what she has. I've never claimed to do it all alone." Kelly nodded but kept pressing. "I just think it's important to be transparent. When famous moms talk about parenting without mentioning help, it makes regular moms feel like they're failing. Do you get what I mean?" The audience went quiet. Jessica's posture stiffened. "Kelly, I understand what you're saying, but you're assuming things about my life that aren't accurate." Kelly looked surprised. "I'm not assuming anything. I'm saying your situation is different from moms who don't have the same resources." Jessica's voice stayed calm. "Yes, but that doesn't mean my experiences as a mother are less valid. I shouldn't have to explain my privilege every time I talk about my kids." "I didn't say they're less valid," Kelly replied, her tone sharper. "I just think people with platforms have to be honest. If you're not clear, you feed into the idea of perfect motherhood that hurts real women." Jessica's jaw tightened. "I've always been honest, but I don't owe anyone a detailed list of who helps me or how much money I make. That's personal." The studio air grew tense. Kelly leaned back, clearly caught off guard. "But don't you see how it sounds tone-deaf when someone with your resources says parenting is hard?" Jessica raised her voice slightly. "I never said it was harder for me. I said everyone struggles. Different struggles, same effort." Kelly frowned. "You're missing my point. I'm talking about representation," Jessica shot back. "You asked me to talk about my life, not defend it." "I'm not putting you on trial," Kelly said firmly. "I'm asking you to acknowledge privilege," Jessica sighed. "I already have many times. What else do you want?" The audience was silent now, watching the tension unfold. "I want you to understand words matter," Kelly said. "When you talk about motherhood, your words can mislead." Jessica stared at her. "Kelly, I came here for a conversation, not a lecture. You're twisting my words to fit your own story." Kelly opened her mouth, but Jessica raised a hand. "No, I'm done being interrupted. You've been telling me how to describe my life, and it's incredibly condescending." Kelly's eyes widened. "I'm trying to have a real discussion." "No," Jessica cut in. "You're lecturing me. A conversation means listening, and you haven't listened since this started." Kelly straightened. "I've been listening. I just disagree." Jessica's tone hardened. "You're not disagreeing. You're telling me I'm wrong for not presenting motherhood the way you want. You're putting words in my mouth." Kelly shook her head. "I just want you to think about how your words affect others." Jessica gave a dry laugh. "Kelly, I'm not sure who you think my audience is. I came on your show as a guest, not a case study." The cameras kept rolling. Crew members exchanged uncertain looks. Kelly took a breath. "Look, I'm just saying people with platforms have responsibilities." Jessica's patience was fading. "And I told you I understand that. But you're asking me to feel guilty for my life, and I won't." Kelly's voice softened slightly. "I'm not asking for guilt, just awareness." Jessica's eyes flashed. "Whose awareness? Yours?" My reality is that I work, I love my kids, and I do my best every day. Having help doesn't erase that. Kelly leaned forward again. But that's the issue. You're comparing your challenges to moms who are barely surviving. Jessica shot back. I never compared anything. You're the one doing that. I only spoke about my life. The audience gasped softly at her directness. Kelly's voice rose. I'm trying to have a real talk about privilege. Jessica countered. Then be honest about what this is. You invited me for an interview, not a debate. You should have said so if that's what you wanted. This isn't an ambush, Kelly said. It's an important conversation. Jessica's tone turned icy. Your audience doesn't deserve to see you humiliate a guest just to make a point. That's not awareness, that's ego. The accusation hit hard. Kelly's mouth opened, then closed again. I'm not trying to feel superior, she said tightly. Then why does it feel like you are? Jessica replied quietly. You're hiding judgment behind concern, and it's obvious. Kelly's grip tightened on her chair. I'm not hostile. I'm direct. No, Jessica said firmly. Direct is honest. Hostile is what you're doing, attacking me and then blaming me for defending myself. Kelly frowned. You're being too sensitive. The words froze the room. Jessica went still. Too sensitive? She repeated softly. Kelly realized her mistake, but continued. I just mean you're taking this too personally. You've spent this entire interview questioning me as a mother, Jessica said quietly. And now you say I'm too sensitive? That's gaslighting, Kelly blinked. That's a serious accusation. And an accurate one, Jessica replied. You're telling me my feelings aren't valid. Kelly looked at the audience for reassurance but found only silence. You're twisting my words, she said weakly. Jessica's response was sharp. No, you're twisting mine. You haven't asked one genuine question. You've just disguised criticism as curiosity. That's not true, Kelly protested. Then tell me, what was your goal with this? Jessica asked. Kelly hesitated and Jessica nodded. Exactly. You wanted me to apologize for my life. To make your audience feel better by bringing me down. That's unfair, Kelly said quietly, avoiding eye contact. Is it? Jessica pressed. You used me to score points. Kelly's jaw tightened. You're out of line, Jessica's tone rose. Out of line? You've treated me like some spoiled actress, and now you're shocked I'm standing up for myself? I was trying to have an important conversation, Kelly said through gritted teeth. No, Jessica replied. You were chasing a viral moment. That's not dialogue, it's manipulation. Kelly stood abruptly. Maybe we should stop here. Jessica stood too. For once, I agree. I didn't mean for it to go this way, Kelly said, her voice uncertain. Didn't you? Jessica asked. Because this seems exactly like what you wanted. Drama. That's not true, Kelly insisted, but her eyes gave her away. Then what did you want? Jessica asked softly. To shame me? To make an example of me? I wanted a real conversation, Kelly said weakly. At my expense? Jessica replied. You wanted to use me to make a point about privilege. And when I pushed back, you got angry. I'm not angry, Kelly said, fists clenched. You are, Jessica said calmly, because I wouldn't play along. Silence filled the studio. Kelly looked at Jessica with a conflicted expression. I never meant to attack you. But you did, Jessica said. Intent doesn't erase impact. You should know that. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Kelly looked away. The worst part, Jessica continued quietly, is that I agree with you. Privilege matters. Awareness matters. But the way you handled this, so aggressive, so self-righteous, undermined everything you said. Kelly's voice dropped. Maybe I could have done it differently. Maybe, Jessica said. You turned a friendly chat into an interrogation. And even now, you can't just admit it. I'm trying to acknowledge your feelings, Kelly said. No, you're trying to wrap this up without taking responsibility, Jessica replied. That's not the same thing. Kelly's shoulders slumped. I don't know what you want me to say. Nothing, Jessica said simply. I've heard enough. You used your platform to tear me down, and I'm done. You can't just walk off, Kelly said, panic creeping into her voice. Watch me, Jessica replied calmly. "Jessica, please," Kelly said, her voice breaking. "There's nothing left to say," Jessica replied. "You had 20 minutes to listen. You didn't." "I'm listening now," Kelly said, stepping forward. "It's too late," Jessica answered. "You can't be dismissive for an entire interview and suddenly claim empathy." Kelly froze. "I never meant to hurt you." "But you did," Jessica said softly. "And that matters. Intent doesn't cancel harm." The callback stung. Kelly looked down, her face pale. "I hope you think about this," Jessica continued. "You've built a brand on kindness, but today you chose cruelty. You owe me an apology, but I won't wait for one just for show." Jessica turned and walked off stage. The cameras followed her as she passed the stunned crew, the exit door closing behind her with a hollow thud. Kelly stood motionless on stage, eyes glistening, the audience silent. After a long pause, she sank back into her chair. Someone finally called to cut. What had started as a talk about motherhood had turned into one of the most explosive moments in talk show history. Accusations of gaslighting, privilege and cruelty broadcast live. Whether you think Jessica was right to walk out or that Kelly had fair points, one thing's clear. This interview will be remembered for years. Subscribe for updates on what happens next, and tell us in the comments, was Jessica right to leave, or should she have stayed and worked things out?